Hello everyone, this is Ullah Shaha. Today I am going to present our paper Fast Byzantine Gathering with Visibility in Graphs. First of all, I want to give thanks Dr. Avery Miller, who was the other author of this paper. Then I am going to start my presentation. Today I am going to cover introduction, preliminaries, impossibility result and lower bounds. Then I will discuss about our HView algorithm that has three subroutines: find, lookout, march to center and merge. Finally, I will provide the conclusion, mentioning our contribution and future works. Introduction. Tasks that were previously executed by a single expensive robot. Nowadays, we can deploy multiple cheap robots to complete that task in distributed manner. Some real-life application of mobile robots can be military surveillance, search and rescue, environmental monitoring, transportation, mining, and so on. In mobile robots network, robots move from one location to another location in the network and they collectively complete a task. And sometimes they are required to meet at a node after they finish the entire task concurrently. Perhaps they want to share their information or they want to coordinate their future actions. So gathering becomes a fundamental problem for mobile robots in networks. We can see two types of scenario in gathering problem. One is non-faulty system. In non-faulty system, all the robots are non-faulty, but gathering is even hard to accomplish in a field fault-free system because the robots may not have any planned location where they can meet. The robots, they do not have any initial information about the environment. There is no central coordinator. So every robot runs its own deterministic algorithm to make decisions. There is a lot of previous work that focused on the non-faulty case. Faulty system. It is a particular challenging scenario in which some of the robots are Byzantine. So they are the malicious robot in the system. We can think that they are compromised by outsiders or hackers. They basically do not follow our installed algorithm and they can behave arbitrarily in the system. And the fact is that they even know the algorithm that is being executed by the non-faulty robots. And the non-faulty robots, they do not know which of the robots are Byzantine in the system. We can face this type of scenario in real world applications when the attackers, they try to disrupt the normal behavior of the system. So this is the formal definition, the gathering problem. Assume that M robots are initially placed at nodes of a network where F of the robots is strongly Byzantine. The robots synchronously execute a deterministic distributed algorithm. Eventually, all non-faulty robots must terminate their algorithm in the same round, and at termination, all non-faulty robots must be located at the same node. Preliminaries. The model. In this paper, we assume that there are M robots that are placed in an undirected connected graph G. The team of M robots contains F Byzantine robots and M-F non-faulty robots. We think there are like n number of nodes in the graph, and the nodes, they do not have any labels. But at each node V, the incident edges are labeled with port number 0 to degree -1 in an arbitrary way. Now I will talk about the properties of the non-faulty robots. Each non-faulty robot alpha has a distinct ID L alpha, and the robot, it knows its own ID. But the non-faulty robot, they do not have any initial knowledge of the size or topology of the graph. The non-faulty robot, they do not even have any information about the number of Byzantine robots in the system. But the non-faulty robot, they have unbounded memory and they are equipped with a visibility sensor so that it can see everything within this edge from itself in the graph. The properties of the Byzantine robot. The Byzantine robot, they have unbounded memory and they have complete knowledge of the algorithm that is being executed by the non-faulty robots, and they can see the entire network and all the position of all robots at all times. And in each round, the Byzantine robots, they can move to an arbitrary neighboring node from its current node. And as we have told that the Byzantine robots are strongly Byzantine, that means that they can hold any ID and they can change this ID to any value at any time. A Byzantine and a non-faulty robot with the same ID, they look identical. Now I will discuss about the look, compute, move operation. In each round, each non-faulty robot performs one look, compute, move sequence. From the look operation, a non-faulty robot, it gains the knowledge of its surroundings. So each robot sees two types of view from its look operation. One is local view and one is snapshot view. From the local view, the non-faulty robots can learn the port numbers and the robot IDs at its current node. And from the snapshot view, it can learn the port number and robot IDs that are within distance h of itself in the graph. The compute operation. In compute operation, each robot chooses a port number that it will use to exit the current node, or it can choose null as a port number if it decides that it will not move from its current node and it will stay at its current node. In the move operation, the robot moves along the edge corresponding to its chosen port number. So in this paper, every robot participates in every round, and each round contains a look, compute, move cycle. This is called synchronous execution. This is an example of a snapshot view of the robots with visibility range h equal to 4. Suppose this is a graph G at some round t. So we can see there are like one robot with ID 2 and there are two robots with ID 1. So one of the robot must be Byzantine here, as we have said that the non-faulty robot must have distinct ID, but here we can see the IDs are not distinct. So one of the robot must be Byzantine here. Now the snapshot view of robot with ID 2 would be this one. So we can see that the visibility range h equal to 4. So it can see the node and the robots within h distance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 nodes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 nodes it can see. Now if the robot with ID 1, this is the non-faulty robot with ID 1, if so, then it will see the snapshot view like this. And if the non-faulty robot with ID 1 is this one, then it will see the snapshot view like this. So we can see that if this is the non-faulty robot, it can see the whole graph. So why this happened? This happened because the non-faulty robot is at the center of this graph and the radius of this graph is 4, and we know that the visibility range is also 4. So any robot which are in the center of this graph, they will see the whole graph. So this is our gathering problem. Now we are interested in two factors in the solution. The first one is that we will try to minimize the number of rounds to accomplish the gathering, and the second fact is that we will try to minimize the number of non-faulty robots in the team. So why this is important? We are actually trying to maximize the ratio of faulty robots and the non-faulty robots. So we will try to figure out that whether our algorithm can tolerate the maximum ratio of Byzantine robots or not. Literature review. These are the most recent works that have been dealt with our model. Dieudonné et al. They have worked with our model. They have worked with weakly Byzantine first, and they have also considered that the non-faulty robot, they do not know the value. They know the value of f. That means that the non-faulty robot, they know how many Byzantine robots are in the system. For these settings, we can see the upper bound is 1, that matches the lower bound for known size of the graph, and the algorithm is polynomial time algorithm, and it happened for the unknown size of the graph also. When the robots do not know the size of the graph, even for that scenario, their algorithm matches with the lower bound, and the algorithm is polynomial time algorithm. Then they have worked with the strongly Byzantine robots. for the strongly Byzantine robot, we can see there is a gap between the upper bound and the lower bound, and it happened for unknown size of the graph also, and the algorithm is exponential time algorithm. Later, Bouchard et al., they have worked with the strongly Byzantine robots, and they were able to reduce the gap between the upper bound and lower bound, and their upper bound matches the lower bound for both of this scenario. But the problem is that the algorithm is exponential time algorithm also. So later they have worked with the strongly Byzantine robot again, and this time they have also considered that the non-faulty robot, they do not know the value of f. Under the restricted model, they were able to come up with a polynomial time algorithm, which is very good thing, but the problem is that we can see there is a gap between the upper bound and lower bound, and it happened for the unknown size of the graph also. And for the unknown size of the graph, they also require order log n bit of global knowledge. And so we wondered whether it is possible to have a polynomial time algorithm for this model, and we will try to reduce the gap between the upper bound and lower bound, and we will try to solve the problem in linear number of non-faulty robots. So this is our result. We solved the gathering problem in a polynomial number of rounds under the model of Bouchard et al. For unknown size of the graph, but we have provided some visibility range h. Our algorithm doesn't assume any initial global knowledge, and our algorithm works with f+1 non-faulty robots, which is optimal, and we also prove a matching lower bound for that. We have also proved two impulsivity results. The first impulsivity result is that there is no deterministic algorithm that solves gathering if the number of Byzantine robots in the team is f and the number of non-faulty robots is at most f, even if the non-faulty robots have visibility h equal to the diameter of the graph. So why this is important? This is important because it demonstrates that our algorithm is optimal with regards to the number of non-faulty robots in the teams. So we have proved that if the non-faulty robot is at most f, so if it's less than f+1, then the gathering is not solvable even if the robot can see the whole graph. So which is optimal in terms of the number of required non-faulty robots in our algorithm. This is the second impulsivity result. There is no deterministic algorithm that can solve gathering in a team of m robots consisting of f is greater than 0 Byzantine robots and at least f+1 non-faulty robots if the visibility range h of each non-faulty robot is a fixed constant c. So why this is important? This is important because when we showed that when we will try to construct a gathering algorithm that works with no initial information about the network, it is necessary to assume that each robot has a significantly large visibility range. So we have proved that if the visibility range is a fixed constant c, then the gathering is not solvable even if it has a enough number of non-faulty robots. It won't possible with constant visibility range. So this is our HView algorithm. We have made two assumptions. We have assumed that the number of non-faulty robots in the system is greater than equal to f+1, which is optimal, and we have also assumed that the visibility range of each non-faulty robot is greater than equal to r, where r is the radius of the network. Now I will discuss about our algorithm. The algorithm progress can be divided into three parts: find lookout operation, march to center operation, and merge operation. So before going to that, I will talk about two terminology. The first one is singleton ID. At any round t, an ID L is called singleton if the total number of times that L appears in the graph is exactly 1 at that round. And P alpha, for any robot alpha, P alpha represents the subset of node in alpha snapshot view where it thinks it might be located. So from the snapshot view, any robot can be confused about its current position. So P alpha represents the location in the snapshot that matches its local view. Now this is the first subroutine, find lookout. So every robot runs the find lookout subroutine at the beginning of the algorithm, and this subroutine ensures that after executing this subroutine, every non-faulty robot will move to some node Vmax from where it can see the entire network. To do that, each robot alpha produces the least p alpha potential node in its initial snapshot view where it thinks it might be located. Then from each potential initial node, alpha compute a port sequence of a DFS of its snapshot view, and then it tries to follow that port sequence in the real network. Then it simply goes to the node Vmax from where it can see the maximum number of nodes in the snapshot view. So this is an example, and the key observation of this subroutine is that the visibility range h is greater than equal to r ensures that the robot's initial snapshot view must contain a node from where the robot can see all the nodes in the network. So suppose this is the graph G at round t is equal to 0, and this is the snapshot view. So suppose this is the robot non-faulty robot ID 1, so it will have this snapshot view, and this snapshot view we can see that the snapshot view contains the center of this graph. So the non-faulty robot ID 1, it will try to move one of this center node. To do that, the non-faulty robot will run DFS, assuming that it is located here once and it is located here once, because it is confused whether it is located here or here. But at once it will able to run the DFS completely, and that time it will be able to come one of this node, and when it will come one of this node, it will see the whole graph. So this is the theorem. By round m plus 2 into n square, each non-faulty robot alpha is located at a node Vmax such that the snapshot view at Vmax contains n nodes and m robots. The second subroutine, march to center. So after executing the first subroutine, every robots are located at some nodes Vmax from where it can see the whole graph. Now this march to center subroutine, it ensures that eventually there is a robot within a singleton ID that is located in the center of the network. So this march to center subroutine ensures that after executing this march to center execution, there will be a robot which ID will be singleton in the center of this graph. To do that, a robot alpha starts this execution from a node Vmax from its previous subroutine. Now if p alpha is equal to 1, that means that the robot, it knows its own position, so its current potential location is only 1, so it knows its current position. Then it will simply go to the center of its snapshot graph. Now if p alpha is greater than 1, that means that the robot is confused about its current position, so it will not move during its march to center, and it will simply watch to see if it can find an inconsistency between its local view and its possible starting location in this snapshot. And if it finds an inconsistency, it will delete the location from p alpha in which it sees the inconsistency. Finally, alpha checks if there is a singleton ID in the center of the graph of its current snapshot view. If it finds any singleton ID, it will set v target as the node of the robots with the smallest singleton ID in the center graph. So the key observation is that at least one of the following must happen in each execution of march to center. So in each march to center, the first thing can be happen is that a robot can successfully move to a node in the center of the network, and it can create a singleton ID in the center graph. So this is the first case. So suppose this is the graph G at the beginning of the march to center with visibility h equal to r plus 1. Now the first case can be happen for this one. Suppose this is the robot ID 2, is p alpha is equal to 1 as it has only one potential location, so it can easily move from here to this node, and it can create a singleton ID. We can see singleton ID in the center graph. So a robot can successfully move to a node in the center of the network and create a singleton ID in the center. Or if it doesn't happen, then at least one of the robot can see an inconsistency and it can narrow down its p alpha. So this is the second case. So the second case can happen for this. Suppose this ID2 is moving from this node to that node. At the same time, the Byzantine robot with ID 1, it can change its location from here to here, and it can change its ID 1 to ID 2. So this is the case 2 we can see. So after the movement, there will be no singleton ID in the center graph. As we have seen, there are two robots with ID 2, so there is no singleton ID in the center graph. But for this case, the non-faulty robot with ID 1, it will see that there is no robot with ID 1 here, so it will not be its potential location anymore. So this robot will remove this node from its potential current node. So this is the second case. At least one robot can see an inconsistency and it can narrow down it P alpha. But the fact is that the second case cannot be happen forever. So after enough repetition, there is a robot with a singleton ID that is located in the center of the network G. So this is the theorem. There exists a positive integer k is less than equal a plus 1 such that every non-faulty robot sets its variable b target to the same non-null value at the start of the round m plus 2 n square plus kh. Now the final subroutine is called merge. So in merge subroutine, the robots, they attempt to gather at the target node b target that was chosen from the previous subroutine merge to center. So in the merge operation, a robot alpha tries guess from its set of possible location again, and from each guess, it will compute a sequence of port number that will lead to the b target. Then it will try to follow the port sequence in the real graph. If it notices any inconsistency along the way or after it arrives, it will delete the guess starting node from its list P alpha, and it will go back to the starting position. The key observation is that each execution of merge finishes in one of the two ways. So after each merge operation, the robots can be gathered at the target node B target, or at least one of the non-faulty robot can eliminate one incorrect guess about its starting position. Again, the second case cannot happen forever, so repeating merge enough times guarantees that the last performed merge gathers all robots at the same node. So this is the theorem. During the execution of HV algorithm, if k is greater than 1 execution of merge to center are performed followed by a plus 2 minus k execution of merge, then all non-faulty robots are gathered at V target. So this is the final theorem we can get in any n node graph with radius r if the HV algorithm is performed by any team of m robots consisting of f visitor robots and at least a plus 1 non-faulty robots with visibility h is greater than r, then gathering is solved within m plus 2 into n square plus h into m, which is order mn square rounds. The conclusion, our contribution is that we solve the gathering problem efficiently in the graph model in the presence of Byzantine robots. Our algorithm works with a plus 1 non-faulty robots, which is optimal since we prove a matching lower bound. We consider a graph-based model in which each robot has no initial information other than its own ID, and it has some visibility range h. We have also proved that there is no algorithm that can solve the gathering in the presence of Byzantine robots if h is any fixed constant. Future works. In future, we would like to establish a particular lower bound on h with respect to r. So we have developed a lower bound which is constant, but we will try to find out a lower bound on h with respect to r. We'll try to solve the gathering problem for some other models. Maybe we can provide an external memory register that can be called light and that can be visible by other robot, or we can work on the semi-synchronous model for the gathering problem. So these are the references, and thank you everyone.